I tell you what we'll do. We're just going to flip to weather coverage for a few minutes, and this is going to take probably a good part of the hour to blow through. So to help with that, if y'all are seeing things where you are, we'd love to get any reports, especially if you've got hail or damage. Not just that it's raining hard, because that's true for everybody right now. But we're trying to keep up with this so that people that haven't left work or haven't gotten on the road yet can know what's out there and how long to hold up. And if you are out driving around, you might want to duck into a store or some retail establishment or someplace your car may not be the best place to be for the next few minutes. This should blow through relatively quickly. The storm's moving anywhere from 25 to 35 miles an hour in parts. Now, there's more storm activity on the backside of this thing, but this is sort of the front edge of what we've been expecting all day long. Here's Clarissa with a weather update where she is. Clarissa, where are you? What you got?
I actually don't have a weather update. I just drove in from D.C., so I just bypassed the weather, thank goodness. But
Oh,
I did
okay.
want to tell you, about an observation that I made while I was there.
Okay.
The bellman at our hotel, my daughter had an internship in D.C. for the summer, so I was just there to drop her off. I'm going back 2 more times this summer, but I was just there this weekend to drop her off, and we did just a little bit of sightseeing. I've been there several times before, but the bellman was making the argument to me that the bookings were down and he wasn't making any money, and all these artists were pulling out of this, America's Fair concert, and that nobody wanted to be associated with Trump. And I really just wanted to be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, I'm bringing a group this summer, with my travel business. And so that was not my experience. My experience there was that a lot of people were there, and they were all decked out in red, white, and blue. It was super patriotic. But the point that I wanted to point out was that it didn't make sense for him to be complaining about the Republicans and the conservatives and the local economy, because the conservatives and the Republicans were the ones there boosting that local economy. And I just made sure to give him a good tip and, tell him God bless you, have a great day. But I just thought, that is so symptomatic of the Democrat logic, is that you're sitting here complaining that no one is helping you, when literally the patriots are the one coming to to D.C. for America's 250th and buying all the merch, spending all the money, doing all the tipping, going out to eat, and boosting that local economy. And they want to see how Trump has cleaned up the town, which he's doing a fabulous job. The painting has just been finished this week on the reflecting pool. Things are looking great.
Yep.
But anyway, I just wanted to call and point that out, because I just thought that was so systematic of their thinking of, woe is me, but literally the patriots are the ones there that's fixing the problem, but they don't want to see that.
Oh, they could make a lot of money off the people they hate, but they just don't want, Clarissa, they do not want this thing to be successful, and it's going to be. It's our country. It's our birthday. It's a milestone year. They hate patriotism, and they dread the celebration of our country this year the same way the rest of the country doesn't want to see a guy in leather assless chaps marching during Pride Week. The same disgust that some people have for watching those displays, these people have for people dressed like Uncle Sam and happy about the country. It's true.
Well,
It's true.
I would just encourage anybody that is a listener to your show, please, go big or go home for 4th of July this year. Go to American Village, go to D.C., do something to show, these Democrats that you are not embarrassed to be an American. And if we want to talk about pride, let's talk about pride in all of that our military has sacrificed for us, and all the future, the past generations of Americans, and, really the pride of wearing the red, white, and blue.
Right on. I love it. Thank you, Clarissa.
Thanks.
Yeah, I got to order my backup Terry T-shirt. I always forget to do that before the 4th gets here, and then it's too late. You remember that video? That's my patriotic T-shirt. I'll actually be traveling out west, and I think I'm in Wyoming for the 4th, which will be wonderful. So just to celebrate, AJ, I'm going to ride at Buffalo shirtless and shoot my gun in the air and eat port rinds, just to show how American I am. Luke is in Coleman. What's up, Luke?
I'm doing good, man. Hope y'all stay safe down there.
Yep. How's it looking where you are?
It's pretty much all out now. We still got some lightning every now and then, but the heavy rains are gone. Saw my wife said we had hail at the house, but I just got off work at an assisted living home, and everybody's good and safe there with no hail. But I wanted to call in. AJ had mentioned a while ago that pull under an underpass or something like that to get out of the hail. That's actually, I wouldn't advise that, and a lot of your national meteorologists say not to do that, because the big thing is if you've got, say, a 60-mile-an-hour gust or winds coming in, whether it be thunderstorm or tornado or whatnot, and you pull under that underpass, that wind's got to go somewhere, and when it, comes into that confined space there, it's actually going to speed up and can make things worse. And
No, well, that's true mostly for tornado weather for sure. It makes kind of a wind tunnel effect.
yeah,
People used to get out of their cars and crawl, up into the part, and that's not smart either.
yeah,
But
not
as far
smart
as
at all.
the downward damage from hail, it will give you some protection. But you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah, it
It's
definitely will for hail, but I was
yeah.
thinking more along the wind area,
Oh yeah,
things like that.
for
Just
sure.
be careful.
That's
Whatever
true.
you're doing, like you said, go to a shopping center, a little retail store or something. Get out of it, because quarter-size hail is definitely no joke.
That'll knock you out. All right,
Definitely no
thanks,
joke.
buddy.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lee. Good
Yes,
call.
sir.
And mainly too is just also if you're not able to get off the highway or something like that, you got to do something to be safe out there. So, and my whole conversation was about the hazard lights anyway. 'Cause a lot of people will drive with those hazard lights on, and it confuses people if you don't really pay attention. And here's another thing: if you see a blinking yellow light, blinking red light, blinking yellow light, proceed with caution. Continue going. Do not make it a four-way stop. If all the lights are out, please, four-way stop. Don't just breeze through those stop signs.
Yeah, look around, see what's going on, because the other fool may not know the rules.
Yes.
So just watch out.
Yes.
Watch out. Okay, a lot of lightning. Let me track it again. It's blowing through pretty quickly, but the heaviest part's just getting to sort of Bessemer, Vestavia, Homewood, where we are, and then back towards Center Point in the west side of town. There are a couple of other. So, in other words, I've got relatives and folks down in northern Shelby County. It's not really on you yet, but you're really close. You're just minutes away from the brunt of it. And then, of course, like I said, there could be other development tonight back to the west. The good news is we do get a few days to dry out after this thing goes through. Less chance of rain for several days starting tomorrow, which is good because I got outdoor projects and construction going on. And I was talking to my man Greg at Storm Restoration earlier today, and I got to send him over his Plytex. But he was talking about how backed up some of their work has become. A lot of it, listeners to the audience, it's because you can't do that kind of work when it's raining, and that is a rain-sensitive industry. So a several-day stretch for people to get caught up is very much needed right now. We're going to get that after we get through this. I'll be tracking power outages and any damage reports here in a minute too. So far, not much of that coming in, but we'll let you know if it does. JR's got an update for us too on a cell phone. What's up, JR?
Hey, buddy. I work in East Boga. I'm headed home to Jacksonville, but done passed several trees down in the road, and every traffic light's been out since I left work.
What road are you on? Where are you traveling?
Bynum Leatherwood
Okay.
was got a tree down across it by the right past the Dixie Mart, and the Sparkle Mart. I'm sorry, and then Linlock Lane had a.
Oh man, we lost you. All right, JR, I appreciate the update. We got folks coming in with that. If you see real damage or any, especially highway obstructions, because these trees are going to be a highway issue and a power issue this afternoon, and he's reporting that. That's over closer to sort of Anniston between the East Boga area and the depot. I think he's probably on 78 or that back road, whatever that is, 202 or whatever that road is that goes toward downtown Anniston. So be careful out there, JR. Appreciate the update. Let's talk about work trucks real quick as we head toward the break. You throw an X in there when you spell it. Some of our advertisers have creative spellings in the way they spell their businesses. That's okay. It helps us remember it. But if you want to look at the inventory and get online and find out what they've got before you head down there, they're happy for you to do that. Otherwise, they love to show off. So go down there and kick some tires. They've got trucks for industry, already configured for industry. Some of you have very specific needs with your box trucks or your service body trucks or tool trucks or any of these things. They're all down at Work Trucks. Even super specialty items like bucket trucks and some crane type trucks. They've got them. Big heavy duty stuff, passenger vans, cargo vans, and everything in between. If they don't have a configuration you need, let Bubba and his team track it down. This is what they do. They're better at it than us. So let them do it. They'll find you a low miles one, and then they know how to go through and check it all out. They've got a 125-point checklist that is just foolproof. And I say it all the time. I wouldn't even know 125 things to check. I could eyeball it. If you want me to come eyeball it, I'll look at it and kick a tire and go, looks all right to me. But that's not good enough. 125 points to put it on the lot. It is Work Trucks. Put that X in there, TRUX, WorkTrucksLLC.com, WorkTrucksLLC.com. Back here with more on this weather in just a minute. All right, y'all. Storm is all over us right now. We can't get it off of us. It's all over us like white on rice. Here we go. The power company just about 2 minutes ago put out these outage reports. And I think this is going to escalate because we're still dealing with it. It seems to have calmed down a little bit right here outside the studio. 28,000 customers without power in Jefferson County right now. 3,000 in Shelby, 2,000 in St. Clair. Tuscaloosa's got 4,000 without power and 7,500 back into Coleman. Now, proportionally, 7,500 for a county the size of Coleman, that's a lot of power outages, a lot of customers, probably some facilities offline as well. We got 12,000 without power over in Anniston. Now, the storm warning right now goes from state line to state line. It's Mississippi to Georgia, and it's just rolling south and east. A lot of wind, a lot of hail, a lot of trees coming down. And so everything they predicted starting to happen, unfortunately. Good news is no circulation, no tornadoes down, tornadoes on the ground or anything along those lines. And we'll give you those power outages updates here in just a minute. The other good news, if we're looking for good news, of course, is that it's blowing through relatively quickly. And once the line gets through, those power crews can get to work and get people back up and running. But you're going to have to be patient, and hopefully you were prepared. The weather forecast for today have been out for a while now. And so just know you may spend an afternoon reading a book by candlelight. Anybody know how to do that anymore? I kind of like it sometimes when the power goes off, except when the internet goes off, and then everything in your house is hooked to that. Okay, let me I'm scrolly-poly right now trying to make sure I'm up to date as these damage reports come in. Columbiana reporting some damage right now. We've got more to because they're further on the backside of this line. We're getting a lot more reports coming in from sort of the Decatur area, and I'm seeing some pretty good-sized trees toppled. And the first thing I look for, did the tree snap or did the tree come uprooted? And as you can expect, yep, it's a lot of uprooting, which means the soft soil and those wind gusts have conspired to bring down. And here's a giant one just laying right on a power line. It's like a postcard for how power outages happen all over the state and all over the South. So yeah, so we'll see. There's always a lag of damage reports that come in after a line blows through. So we'll be hearing from folks. And right now, Shelby's still dealing with it. Randolph County is far east. That's where my mama lives. Randolph County under the gun right now until 4 o'clock. I sent her a text, but I hope she's listening. But again, no specifics for specific communities because it's just a giant, strong, broad wind field that's coming in. And I am seeing, if it's any good news, I am seeing less reports or photographs of hail damage. So maybe that was just episodic in parts of the system as it was rolling through, especially north of here. It should be out of here before our show's over, so we're not going to continue minute-to-minute tracking. But since we're in that vulnerable part of the day and some of y'all are out there just trying to get home this afternoon, here's some timelines of when it should arrive in certain places. Well, actually, that's old enough now that it should have passed through. Let me double-check on that timeline. Yeah, most of this stuff should be through. It said Harpersville by 3:19. It's 3:28, and I think that's probably accurate. Now, of course, if y'all got damage reports or anything you want to report into us, traffic issues, stuff in the road, lines down, that does help your neighbors as people are out and about. Or you know somebody that needs help right now, you get a tree on your house, just let us know and we'll put the word out. That's the best we can do from the safe confines of this big, safe building. Alabama Gold Refinery next up. Just down the road here in Homewood, on the other side of Homewood, downtown Homewood, near the Big Tall Regions Bank. There you'll find Steve every single day holding court, teaching people about gold, silver, and platinum and doing deals, fair deals. Whether you want to trade or sell or buy, he'll do it. All of the major platforms, all of the commodities, gold, silver, platinum. Again, fair value, safe location, central location, and a great dude to get to know in this business. It's Alabama Gold Refinery. Y'all go get yourself some gold and stick it somewhere where we don't know. You never know when you're going to need it. AGR, AlabamaGoldRefinery.com. Real quick, bottom of the hour, we'll come back with more of this weather update in just a minute. All right, y'all, 334, Hueytown Pawn, next up here on the show. This has become my gun shop. Yeah, it's a pawn shop, but it's a gun shop. Let's talk. For years, people around that area over in the Hueytown area know about Hueytown Pawn. Right there there are two kind of main drags in Hueytown. One of them is Brook Lane Drive. If you don't go over to Hueytown much, you haven't been over there in a long time, or maybe you've got a favorite shop that you love to visit, I'm telling you, you owe it to yourself to at least swing by and see what they got, because the selection's really good on that gun counter of every kind of variety, whether it's personal carry. They've got a wonderful line, excellent prices on all kinds of tactical platforms, short ones, long ones, you name it, different varieties and brands, and all the accessories that go with it. You know, when they first came on, one of the big things was they took me back in their vault, and they had this huge room just full of sound suppression. And Tommy just got ahead of the game. He knew with the changes in the laws, those were going to be super popular. And he also knew if there's an uptick in demand, that supply was going to get low. He didn't want to be short, so he just went and bought everything he could find. He bought them out all over the country and stocked up in Hueytown. So some of you were on a waiting list or having to wait or couldn't find good selection. He's still got an incredible amount of sound suppression over there. So if that's something that you want on your rig, so you quiet down and protect your hearing and the hearing of any bad guy that might want to know that you're shooting at them. It is Hueytown Pawn over on Brook Lane Drive. Go see them. Again, hunting stuff and everything in between. And don't forget those trailers. One of the more popular thing with those utility trailers that they had out in the parking lot was, I didn't even know, he sent me a picture of one, and I totally get why people would love these. They've got these high-sided ones that have these 2-foot sort of structures around them to hold things on. And especially people that do wood, if you sell wood, move wood, chop wood, all that stuff, they love those things because they're kind of perfect size. They're a whole lot easier to load those than load the bed of your truck. And they have those, they got on back order because so many people bought those out. Go check in with them, because I think Tommy had some more of those coming in at Hueytown Pawn. Go see them, Hueytown Pawn. You're right there again on Brook Lane Drive. All right, Derek's been holding. He's got something for us on the traffic. As these storms are starting to move through, they're kind of pushed past where we are now, and then we'll start getting any damage reports and getting you updated on all the traffic and the power. Derek, what you got, man?
Hey, Leland, when you come off Grants Mill on the 119 headed into 280, it's a parking lot.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
That little tight stretch right there before you turn off to the Lake Purdy, somewhere through there. The only traffic coming back this way is folks turning around.
Yeah, all it takes is one little wreck. I ran into that on Sunday. Somebody had kind of come off the road and had to get around them, coming the back way that way. I take that road sometimes. But, yeah, be careful. That's a tight little twisty road, and that if you get stuck there, it's hard to turn around. There's not many places to get turned around once you get, especially if you cross the bridge. So, yeah, man. Derek, thanks for the update, buddy.
Also, let me reiterate what you just said. I went to Hueytown Saturday.
Yeah.
They were very, very helpful. Got
Cool.
my paperwork started for my silencer for my deer rod.
Love it. That's good. And by the way, thanks for reminding me of that, Derek. Thanks, buddy. Check in with us later if you see anything else. That's going to be helpful, because you do not want to get stuck on Grants Mill. Yeah, Hueytown's also invested in this digital system for entering your permitting and your paperwork and all the stuff you have to do, and it speeds it up. It's a direct tie. You get quicker approvals, and I just love the way they do that. And they can store you in their system down the road if you decide to buy something. They can get that stuff processed for you. It's all legit, and then they can have your paperwork ready when you get there to do any kind of registration or background checks for whatever you're doing. So just know that too. All right, man, more traffic coming in. So what we're watching for now, the bulk of it's pushed through. Any more power outage reports, trees down, traffic problems, all that stuff. And then we'll get back to normal here in just a few minutes. Holly, what is up with you?
Hey, Leland. I was coming home from the airport, and I was came out by Buc-ee's to get on 119, and a tree came down across 119 right in front of me. It's between Grants Mill and Highway 280 in the Brook Highland area.
Yeah.
It's a huge tree, and that's what the backup is.
Oh,
unless
wow.
There's been wrecks from that. But it is a huge tree. It came down right in front of me. I missed it by an inch.
And so it came in, you got around it and were able to keep going, I guess.
No, I made a 180 and I had to go all the way back to 459 and come Highway 280.
So where exactly where did it come down on Grants Mill? I'm trying to make sure I got a good understanding.
No, it's not on Grants Mill. It's on 119.
It's on 119.
Between Grants Mill, yeah,
Gotcha,
on
gotcha.
119, and it's blocked both directions.
Gotcha. Okay,
it's
now I'm clear.
Big tree.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's a healthy tree. The whole root ball came up with it. So
yeah, we were
just like
kind
you
of
say, with the ground being so wet.
Yeah.
And I watched it starting to come down and slammed on my brakes. So.
Well, I'm glad you were able to validate that, because we were speculating that this was going to be the repeated story, and it looks like that's exactly what you're dealing with over there. Holly, thanks for that very specific update. I'm glad you made it out of there.
Sure thing. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you. Yeah, so it started this morning for me. I had this old dead tree. I mean, it was just limbless. I live on a property that's heavily treed. Most of my yard work is just trees. It's cutting down stuff, cleaning up stuff, picking up stuff, burning stuff, trees, thousands of trees on my property. And this thing was right close to the house, not a threat. But I've been staring at it out the window. Every now and then, I just stare at this tree and go, I'm going to get that tree one day. I got to go push that thing over. Usually when I'm peeing, because there's a window behind one of the toilets that I use. Is that too much information? I'm just looking out the window, going, dang, I got to get that tree. And then I forget about it. Well, sure enough, this morning I heard a thump. I guess it was, I said 9:30, but it was probably closer to 8:30 this morning. I heard this thump outside. And I couldn't find where it was. I went around outside the house, and there it was. It finally fell over. And as dead as it was, you'd think it'd just kind of break in half like they tend to do, but the whole root ball came up. So I knew right away with these storms coming in, I was like, yep, the ground's gotten finally saturated with round after round after round of rain. And we've been getting, we have been getting some, quick storms. It's been kind of soaky kind of rain, and that's good for drought. But in the interim, while the ground's so soft, it's got that potential to just push those things straight over. Even as Holly said, a healthy tree that wouldn't have come down. Certain trees, by the way, have smaller root balls and are more prone to this. And I learned that back during Hurricane Opal, when it seemed like it was just taking out pecan trees all over the place and old oaks. And so some trees have a smaller, less, and more shallow root ball, and they'll come down in a hurry. So look out for that. And by the way, until the wind field clears, that's a possibility. These things have now been destabilized. So watch yourself. And the power company should be giving us another update on the outages. Just a few minutes ago, we had nearly 30,000 people, I think it was, around the Jefferson County area that were already sitting with no power this afternoon. And in some cases, that also means no internet, which means you need an old school radio. This is a good reminder as we go on through the tornado season. We get a little lull, and then it gets hot and stupid outside, and then we have hurricane season. In addition to having a weather radio for warnings, and we don't say it enough, and maybe it's just self-serving, but you need a good old-fashioned radio. A lot of folks, if you're in your car, you're still good, but a lot of homes just don't have a basic radio around the house if all this stuff fails. We've always been here for over 100 years. It's almost a foolproof setup, because for years, the FCC required a lot of the radio stations to have backup generation both at your studio and your tower. So when we take a power hit, our generators kick in, and then we're generally back up pretty quick, unless we took a direct hit on the tower and it damaged equipment. But that's why we're always on. And the internet's amazing, but it's very sensitive and huge vulnerability when you get situations like this afternoon. So make sure you're covered with all that, and we try to do our best knowing that to be here for you when we deal with systems like this. Again, this was not a big tornado outbreak, but it is a big inconvenience for people that have lost their power or stuck in traffic right now. I just saw a huge lightning strike. AJ, I thought we were done. We can't really open the window here, so I can't feel how strong it is out there. It looked like it was completely calm, but a big major lightning strike just right outside our window. A lot of lightning involved in this, and I don't see any additional hail reports. And if y'all have any of that, we'd love to. If you'd let us know, we'll let your neighbors know. Ox Foundation Solutions bringing you the show tonight, too. oxstrong.com. Rain and water seeping into your house especially when we get these flooding conditions. Drought affects your foundation too. The soil can pull back. Expansion and contraction of any material is always part of cracks and shifts. But then when the floods come back in, that's when you find out about those cracks after we've had extended drought periods. And so some of you could think you're good. You've been hearing me talk about ox every day for years, and then suddenly you got water coming in with all this rain. If you're dealing with any of this, now's a good time to call them and get it checked while you can identify the source of the moisture or the water itself seeping through the walls, coming in through the cracks, turning into mold. That is such a terrible situation if you wind up with mold in the walls and in the air of your home. Ox handles all of it: cracks, shifts, whole house leveling, mold removal and remediation. And then the final step to secure your home and protect yourself is encapsulation. And they are 100% pros at all of these things. And I tell you all the time, it's all kind of interconnected. One can cause another when it comes to your house and its health. So let them come make you healthy at your house with oxstrong.com. They're just the pros and the best in the business. I appreciate them being with us and helping so many people for years and years here on the show. Oxstrong.com, oxstrong.com. Back in a minute. All right, y'all, about 10 minutes before the hour on this stormy Monday, let's tell you about Alabama Bass down there in Pelham. If you are living alone or you got somebody in your family that's like that, or maybe dealing with disability, there are lots of reasons you could want a more efficient and safe bath facility in your home, even if it's just one of the bathrooms, so that family member can feel safe and private. I don't know how many of y'all like to take public baths or have the whole family in there. Uh, that's just, man, you need that kind of privacy and independence and freedom. And the systems they sell at Alabama Baths are exactly what you need. They are a local company, 2 generations. I love talking about that with many of our sponsors. Good folks. None of the sort of everything's so corporatized now, and they've got their formulas down, and they're always in your face with lingo and sales pitches and pressure tactics and upsells. And you don't get any of that with Alabama Bass. They'll come out and talk to you, measure the. You might have to kick John out. He's a talker. He'll just hang out, but they'll measure everything, check the facility top to bottom to see exactly what you need, give you an honest quote that's going to be better than some of their corporate competitors. And then when you're ready, only when you're ready, and you decide to get them to honor that quote, which they will not pressure you about, they're just going to walk out the door. If you want to do it the next day, they'll try to get you on the schedule. But if you want to wait, they get it. But after they've given you that quote, they'll come and get this done in 2 days. Some of the competitors will say, we do it in 1 day. No, they don't. They'll put it in 1 day. But you have to, if you're going to do it right, you got to give it 24 hours, come back and pressure test. They're honest about that at Alabama Bass, and that's why people love them so much. Good folks. Again, better process, a better product, good customer service, and good local folks. There's just nobody that's going to beat the 40 years of experience this company has at Bass and even kitchens. They do a little bit of everything there. But the thing we talk about are these, bath facility upgrades where you get this easy entry, low-rise shower and or the bath with the door on it, help you get in there and sit down and fill up and get relaxed. It's Alabama Baths. Y'all reach out to Jill or John or Dewey or whoever answers the phone. Usually it's going to be Jill, so get you set up. And by the way, veterans, John's a veteran, and he understands some of these big companies aren't going to hold your hand through the process of getting the VA to pay for this stuff, because in some cases you qualify for the VA to make this improvement on your home. But guess what? Alabama Bass will help you through that process. They'll wait and be patient and let you get all your approvals, and then they'll come do it for you. Alabama Bass in Pelham, alabamabass.com. All right, let's just stick with the storm. Not a lot of updates in the moment, and that's good news. But just so we can kind of put an exclamation point on this one until anything else comes in, most of the warnings have now been pushed off down to the south of the Birmingham Metro. So next up, Clanton over toward Lee County. And if you drew a line across the state, down around Greene County, you guys all in the line of the brunt of it. It did seem to lose a little bit of energy as it headed south. I'm not trying to be a meteorologist, and that wasn't a scientific study. It's just based on observation and what we saw with damage. So I think folks to the north of the city of Birmingham had already spent a lot of time. They got the worst damage with the hail and the winds and the trees, but we still hear pretty significant thunder and lightning outside of our studio. So there's not a complete all clear. The sun's not going to pop right out, but the brunt of it is all pretty much south of the metro now. Updates on the power outages here in just a minute as we get them. 545-9950 if y'all want to call with anything. If you got traffic problems, here's the latest traffic. We appreciate our callers that were in the middle of this. A big, huge tree came across 119 down near Grants Mill Road, and it's backed up traffic, particularly onto Grants Mill. So if you're going Grants Mill to try to cut over from the Irondale area over to 119, you're likely to get stuck in that. And as many of you know, if you travel that road, it's tiny and curvy and hilly, and you're going to get stuck and not really able to turn around. So try not to get onto Grants Mill because the 119 backup is causing that trouble. I don't know if they've gotten that cleared or not, but apparently it was a pretty good size and a healthy tree. One of the things we've talked about quite a bit tonight is the ground has been so saturated, these winds just shoved these trees right over, root ball and all, and caused quite a few traffic situations and power situations as well. We had, close to 30,000 Customers just in Jefferson County without power this afternoon. As of a little while ago, we'll get you updated numbers. The good thing with this clearing is the power crews can get out there and get order restored. And so give them a little patience and let them get to you. A couple of my nephews are linemen, and they work so hard. These guys travel all over the country and helping people in the worst of emergencies after the worst weather. And so I'm sure local crews can handle most of the situation this afternoon. No tornado warnings and very limited hail reports so far this afternoon. And we took a little power hit to the building. But, AJ, we're back up on both the internet and tower?
Yes.
Good deal. All right, now, so let me flip to some regular old good old-fashioned straight-up news away from the weather warnings. And, again, we'll update you if anything else comes in on the traffic and whatnot this afternoon. Apparently, the plaintiffs let me go back to the beginning. We're talking about the Alabama redistricting case that was in front of the Supreme Court today. I had totally forgotten about this 4 o'clock deadline. That would have been 3 o'clock our time to Justice Thomas. So the plaintiffs were the people that took the state back to court and says, no, you still can't do the 2023 map. 3-judge panel found the legislature discriminated using race. And remember, just to have a clear understanding of the law, you can't do either one. You can't discriminate to harm people using race, and you can't discriminate to benefit people using race. You can't use race. You just got to look at communities as they are whole and try to draw fair lines. That's the best way to do it. So the legislature, in my opinion, tried to go back to a flawed map. Naturally, the 3-judge panel is going to throw it out again. They did. Sort all this under the umbrella of the Supreme Court. The headline is that the plaintiffs, these would be the plaintiffs versus the state in the court, have now filed their arguments as per the deadline that Clarence Thomas set the other day. They had to have all their stuff in by 3 o'clock. The last time they put a deadline on clarity in one of these cases where the Supreme Court took it up, because they know time's of the essence. We're in the middle of the year. States have to set their qualifying and special elections. They tend to move a little more expeditiously. I think we're on something known as an emergency docket. So the plaintiffs' filings are in. The judges on the court have everything they need. Not going to surprise me if we don't hear something this afternoon, but I bet we hear something the next day or two from the Supreme Court. Number of options. They could just say, no, 3-judge panel, you're wrong. Alabama can do what they want. They elect their legislature to draw the maps. They could say, well, there's validity here. The whole thing is thrown out. Alabama has to start from scratch, which would be my wish, because if they did that under a fair standard, it'd be very, very beneficial if the Republicans drew fair maps to their own party. The dirty truth is, and I keep telling you all this, a lot of the Republicans are happy with all the Democrats getting shoved into one district. It makes their districts more partisan, and they don't care about giving up this one seat. That's short-sighted, considering the big picture and the battle over Congress in the midterms. And it's not strictly partisan, but it's strictly looking out for themselves. They love these 90% Republican districts. And to change up to 7th means their districts get diluted, particularly with black voters. So we'll see how the court rules. We'll see how Justice Thomas rules. And again, be on standby because the deadline was an hour ago. They've had these arguments in for an hour, and there we go. Lanius Furniture Company bringing you the show tonight, Launius, LaniusFurnitureCompany.com in Kimberly, Alabama. Hope they did all right with the storm this afternoon. What a beautiful store, a massive store, so much selection. If you are going to make that trip to Kimberly, and it's a haul for a lot of people in the audience, I'm not saying pack a lunch, but give yourself time to look. This is not the kind of store you just pop into for 10 or 20 minutes. You're going to want to look around. There's a lot to consider because the prices are good. The values are incredible. The furniture's some of the best brands in the country. Styles are all up to date. Everybody's just going there and find what suits you and your family at Lanius Furniture Company. You can find them in the little town of Kimberly right off exit 280 on I-65. Y'all tell Reggie and the team we said hello and find yourself something beautiful at Lanius Furniture Company this summer, LaniusFurnitureCompany.com.